My name is Bonnie Weiss. I'm 34 years old, and for most of my life, I believed that if I just gave enough money, enough patience, enough pieces of myself, eventually my family would treat me like I mattered, like I wasn't just useful. I live just outside Phoenix with my daughter Lily, who turned 7 last month. She still believes promises mean something, still thinks adults don't lie, still looks at me like I can fix everything. I built my life from nothing. A digital marketing agency, long nights, empty mornings, juggling 2 jobs while finishing my degree. It worked, better than I ever expected. But success came with a quiet consequence. I became the solution to everyone else's problems, the emergency fund, the one who figures it out. My father, Robert, runs our family like a business deal. Every conversation has a purpose. Every kindness comes with a hidden cost. My mother, Diane, stopped pushing back years ago. She just nods now, smiles, agrees, like disappearing was easier than fighting. I'm the oldest of 3. My brother Ethan drifts through jobs like he's testing them out for fun. My sister Chloe just got her real estate license, which somehow made her too busy to help, but never too busy to ask me for money. Growing up, I wasn't just their sister. I was the backup parent. I changed diapers, checked homework, worked at 15 just to avoid asking my father for anything that would turn into a lecture. And then there's Daniel, my husband. 8 months and 12 days of marriage that felt longer the more I looked at it closely. He said everything I needed to hear when I met him. That I deserved rest, that I deserved to be taken care of for once, that I didn't have to carry everything alone anymore. I wanted that so badly I ignored the details. He works part-time, contributes barely anything, and somehow still manages to make it sound like we're equals. What's yours is ours, he always says, like it's romantic instead of convenient. 6 weeks ago, my father suggested a family trip to San Diego, a beach house, time together. Making memories, he called it, and I believed him. I let myself believe that maybe, finally, things would be different. My mom started sending listings that same night, sounding more alive than I'd heard her in years. I found the perfect place, oceanfront, 5 bedrooms, a deck overlooking the water. The deposit was nearly $3,000. My money. I didn't hesitate. Lily made a countdown chain the next morning. Bright paper loops taped across the hallway. Every morning she'd tear one off and smile like the world was getting closer to something good. 17 days, Mama. 12 days. She'd never seen the ocean before. She talked about seashells like they were treasure. I should have known better than to believe in something that involved all of them. The barbecue was supposed to be nothing. Just a normal Sunday. Burgers, cheap beer, small talk. I wore the yellow sundress Lily loves because she says it makes me look like sunshine. She helped me bake cookies the night before, carefully placing each chocolate chip like it mattered. Everything felt normal, until I noticed my father and Daniel leaning in toward each other at the end of the table. Quiet, too quiet, and then the glances started, toward me, then away. That feeling hit me instantly, the one I've known my whole life. Something's coming. My father raised his voice just enough. So Daniel and I were talking. We think it might be better if it's just the 4 of us on the trip. My fork stopped midair. What do you mean 4? What about Lily? He didn't look at me, just kept cutting his food. Come on, Bonnie, be realistic. She's 7. She won't even appreciate it. It'll be more relaxing without a kid running around. Without a kid. My kid. I looked at Daniel, waiting for something. Anything. He nodded, actually nodded. Your dad's got a point, he said casually. Lily's kind of a lot right now. Maybe your friend can watch her for the week. A lot. That word landed heavier than anything else. My daughter was a lot. The table went quiet for half a second, the kind of silence that knows something's wrong, but doesn't care enough to stop it. And then Lily came running in from the porch, smiling like she hadn't just been erased from a conversation about her own life. Mama, can we find starfish at the beach? The silence stretched, thick, and then my father chuckled, low and dismissive. Lily, sweetie, you're not coming on this trip. It's just for adults. And then they laughed. All of them. My mother, my siblings, Daniel, even people who barely knew her name, laughing like it was harmless, like it was funny. I watched her face fall apart in real time. The smile disappeared. Her eyes filled, but she tried to hold it in, like she already understood that crying here would only make it worse. She looked up at me like she'd done something wrong, like she needed to apologize. That was the moment something inside me stopped bending. I didn't raise my voice, didn't argue, didn't give them the reaction they expected. I stood up slowly, helped Lily into her sweater, picked up my purse. "We're leaving," I said, calm enough to confuse them. My mother called after me, "Bonnie, don't be so dramatic." I didn't respond. I didn't look back. I just walked Lily to the car, my hands shaking as I buckled her in. She cried quietly on the way home, small, broken sounds. "Mama, what did I do wrong?" she whispered. "Nothing," I told her. "You didn't do anything wrong." But even as I said it, I realized something I couldn't unsee anymore. They weren't going to change. And neither was Daniel. Because when he came home 3 hours later, he didn't ask about Lily. Didn't apologize. He stood in the doorway, smelling like beer and smoke, and said, "You embarrassed me today. That was disrespectful." I just stared at him, and for the first time, I didn't see my husband. I saw someone who had chosen them over us without hesitation. That night, after Lily finally cried herself to sleep, I sat alone in the kitchen, staring at the booking confirmation glowing on my phone. The beach house, the trip, the illusion. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel overwhelmed. I felt clear, like something had finally snapped into place, and they had no idea what was coming next. I stared at the booking confirmation for a long time. The screen didn't change, but something in me did. For years, every decision I made revolved around keeping everyone else comfortable, keeping the peace, fixing things before they even broke. That night, for the first time, I didn't feel the need to fix anything. I reached for my phone and called Nina. She picked up on the second ring. "It's late. This better be important." I barely got through half the story before she cut me off. "Cancel it." I blinked. "What?" "The trip, the house, all of it. Cancel everything." I let out a short, hollow laugh. "Nina, that's insane." "No," she said, calm and sharp. "What's insane is that they humiliated your daughter in front of everyone and still expect you to fund their vacation." I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. "They'll say I'm overreacting." "They already think that," she replied. "So what exactly are you protecting?" That question sat heavier than anything else. Because she was right. I had spent years protecting people who never once protected me. "They laughed at her, Bonnie," Nina continued, her voice softer now, but somehow even more direct. "At Lily, a 7-year-old, and your husband joined them. You don't come back from that by pretending it didn't happen." I swallowed hard, my grip tightening around the phone. "This isn't new," she added. "They've been using you your whole life. The only difference now is you're finally seeing it clearly." The kitchen felt too quiet, too still. "Do it," Nina said. "Right now, while I'm on the phone." My fingers hovered over the screen. For a second I hesitated, not because I didn't want to do it, but because I knew exactly what it meant. There would be no going back after this. And then I thought about Lily's face. The way her smile disappeared. The way she asked what she did wrong. And something inside me hardened. "Okay," I said quietly. I opened the booking site. The beach house reservation sat there like nothing had changed. 5 bedrooms. Oceanfront. The place my mother had called perfect. The place my father had already mentally claimed. My money. My responsibility. My mistake. I scrolled down to the cancellation policy. Non-refundable deposit. $2,847. I didn't flinch. "Still there?" Nina asked. "Yeah." "Then do it." My thumb pressed the button. "Confirm cancellation?" "Yes." The screen refreshed. Reservation canceled. Just like that. Gone. The house, the trip, the version of the future they were all counting on. I exhaled slowly, like I'd been holding my breath for years without realizing it. "What else?" Nina asked. I pulled up the next tab. The rental SUV. The one big enough for everyone. The one my dad insisted on because comfort matters on long drives. Canceled. Then the dinner reservations my mom had made me book. The beachfront restaurant. The little cafe she said she just had to try. Canceled. Every single piece of that trip. Gone. I sat there in the quiet, staring at the empty confirmation screen. I expected guilt, regret, something. But all I felt was stillness. A kind of peace I didn't recognize at first. "You okay?" Nina asked. I nodded before realizing she couldn't see me. "Yeah, I think I am." "Good," she said. "Now don't say a word to them." I frowned slightly. "You don't think I should at least—" "No," she cut in. "Let them figure it out. Let them sit in the consequences for once." Consequences. That word echoed in my mind long after we hung up. Because in my family, consequences had always been optional. At least for everyone except me. I closed my laptop and leaned back in my chair, listening to the quiet hum of the house. Lily was asleep down the hall, her door slightly open the way she likes it. A small nightlight casting soft shapes on the wall. For a moment I just sat there. Then I stood up and walked down the hallway. Her countdown chain was still taped to the wall. 11 loops left. Bright colors, careful folds. Hope. I reached up slowly and took it down. Not angrily, not dramatically, just gently. I didn't want her waking up to something that wasn't real anymore. I folded it and placed it in the drawer beside my bed. Then I went to check on her. She was curled up under her blanket, her small hand clutching the stuffed animal she's had since she was 3. Her face was peaceful now, like the world hadn't hurt her just hours earlier. I sat on the edge of her bed and brushed a strand of hair from her face. "I've got you," I whispered. And for the first time, I meant it in a way that didn't include anyone else. The next morning, my phone started buzzing at 8:12 a.m. "Mom." I let it ring. Then again and again. By the 5th call, I muted it. A text came through seconds later. "Did something happen with the booking? Your father can't find the reservation." I stared at the message, then locked my phone. No response. By noon, she had called 9 times. By 3 p.m., it was 14. At 5:47 p.m., she left a voicemail. "Bonnie, I don't know what you're doing, but this isn't funny. Call me back." Not what happened. Not "Are you okay?" Not "Is Lily okay?" Just inconvenience. Just disruption. At 6:02 p.m., my phone lit up again. "Dad." I let it ring once. Twice. 3 times. Then I declined the call. And finally, for the first time in my life, I didn't feel the urge to fix it. I just sat there on my couch, Lily beside me, coloring quietly, and watched the screen go dark. They were panicking, and I was done explaining. By the next morning, the panic had turned into something sharper. Demand. My phone started ringing at 7:03 a.m. "Dad." I watched it vibrate against the kitchen counter while I poured Lily's cereal like nothing was happening. "Mama, is Grandpa calling?" she asked softly, not looking up from her bowl. "Yeah," I said calmly. "He is. Are you going to answer?" I slid the phone face down. "Not right now." She nodded like she understood more than she should. 7 years old, already learning when silence says more than words. The calls didn't stop. Text followed. "What did you do? The house is gone. Fix this immediately." Fix this. That word again. Like I was still responsible for everything. At 9:26 a.m., my mother sent another message. "Bonnie, your father is furious. The owner says the reservation was canceled. Tell me this is a mistake." I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then slowly I typed back. "It's not a mistake." 3 dots appeared instantly, then disappeared. Then came the call. I answered this time. Silence on the other end for half a second. Then my father's voice, tight and controlled. "What did you do?" I leaned against the counter, my tone steady. "I canceled the trip." "You had no right." I almost laughed at that. "No right," I repeated quietly. "I paid for it." "That's not the point," he snapped. "You don't get to make decisions like that without consulting the family." The family. I glanced over at Lily, sitting cross-legged on the floor now, coloring carefully inside the lines. "Funny," I said, "because no one consulted me when you decided my daughter wasn't part of it." Silence. Then, sharper, "That's completely different." "Is it?" You're being emotional, Bonnie. Irrational. This was supposed to be a relaxing trip, not a daycare situation. There it was again. That tone. Like I was the problem. Like Lily was the inconvenience. I exhaled slowly, feeling something settle into place inside me. "No," I said. "What's irrational is expecting me to pay for a vacation where my daughter is treated like she doesn't belong. You're blowing this out of proportion." "And you're minimizing it," I replied, calm but firm. Another pause. Then his voice dropped lower, colder. "Do you have any idea how much trouble this has caused? Your mother has been on the phone all morning trying to fix your mess." My mess. I looked down at my hands, steady now. "No," I said. "This is the first mess I didn't create." That landed. I could feel it through the silence. "You need to fix this," he said again, slower this time. "Call the owner, rebook the house. We'll discuss the details later." "No." The word came out before I could even think about softening it. And for the first time in my life, I didn't try to take it back. "What did you just say?" he asked. I said no. His breathing changed, sharper now. "But Bonnie, don't do this." "I already did. This is your family." I glanced at Lily again. She looked up this time, meeting my eyes. Waiting. Always waiting. I softened my voice, but not my words. "No," I said quietly. "She's my family." Another silence. Longer this time. He didn't know what to do with that. None of them ever did when I stopped playing my role. "You're making a mistake," he finally said. "Maybe," I replied, "but it's mine to make." He hung up without another word. I stood there for a moment, phone still in my hand, the quiet stretching around me. And then it rang again. "Daniel." Of course. I let it ring once, twice. Then I answered. What did you do? He asked immediately. No greeting, no hesitation. I walked into the living room, sitting down across from Lily. I canceled the trip. A sharp exhale on the other end. Are you serious right now? Yes. Abani, do you realize how bad this makes me look? I blinked. That's what you're worried about? Of course that's what I'm worried about, he snapped. Your dad is furious. Everyone is blaming me because I'm your husband. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Embarrassing. I felt something inside me go completely still. Do you know what was embarrassing? I said quietly. Watching you agree that my daughter was a lot. Silence. Then defensive. That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you said. You're twisting this. No, I replied. I'm finally hearing it clearly. His tone shifted, softer now, trying a different angle. Look, you're overreacting. This isn't worth blowing everything up over. Everything. I looked around my living room, at the quiet, at Lily, at the life I had built. No, I said, this is exactly what it's worth. Another pause. Then he said it. Fine, then maybe you need to think about what you're risking here. There it was. Not concern. Not apology. A warning. I let the silence stretch just long enough. Then, I already have. And I hung up. My hands weren't shaking anymore. My chest didn't feel tight. For the first time in years, I felt steady. Lily looked up at me from the floor. Her crayon paused midair. Mama? I smiled, softer this time. Yeah, baby? Are we still going to do something fun? I leaned forward, brushing her hair back gently. Yeah, I said, we are. And this time, I meant it. Because whatever came next, whatever fallout, whatever they said or did, it wouldn't include her being left behind. Or me staying silent. Not anymore.